Hello world, this is Madeline Hubbard here. I'm excited to come to you with part 3 of our dream career slash dream business portion of March to Dreams. Today we're going to talk about, do you want to be your own boss? Well, if so, what are the key steps that you need to take in order to start your own business? So this is more on a traditional aspect. I'll go in later on this week on a non-traditional aspect, but just for those who want to start a traditional business, let's say your own bakery, your own restaurant, your own accounting firm. What are the key things that you need to do? First thing you need to do, you want to just identify what type of business that you want, be clear on why you want to start your business. That is so important, because a lot of times we have this great idea, but we don't even know why. What is our purpose in doing this? Because your why is what's going to keep you going. Because when starting a traditional business, it may be a lot to put in it, because you are your own boss. You have to work with, you don't have employees, and you have to put in all the extra time, which is a great feeling. I know personally I've started my own business. It's a lot to it, but it's so rewarding at the end of the day. So having that why and that passion for what you're doing is going to help you in the long run. And then determine your business type. Do you want to reinvent the wheel? Is it something that's already been done before? If it is something that's already been done before, do not reinvent the wheel. Go and find resources. Those resources are going to help you alleviate a lot of the struggles a lot of people before you in that same industry have had. And that is something that is really, really, really important for you, because why put in extra time for something that has already been done? All you have to do is look at it, get their outlines, and do it and make it fit you. So that is so key also. And also the third part of that is making a business plan. Your business plan needs to have your vision, your mission, your steps, your goals, your plan of action, people who you need to contact. Do you need employees? How many employees you need? This is your outline. This is your blueprint, your map for your entire business, guys. And this is so key to being a successful business, is having that business plan in place. There are several templates that there are out there online. You can just Google to help you get started and just get you a free business plan template. That is so key. And it's also very important, because you want to know your first year plan at the end of your first year where you are. You want to know at the end of year 2 and 3 and your 5-year goals, guys, and 10-year goals. You need to know where you are in your business, and also help you to keep track of those goals. But it's fun. Don't get discouraged about putting together this big outline. There are some really in-depth business plans, but there's some simple ones out there too that should definitely take you a lot of time. So creating a business plan. Now, nailing your target market. Who are your customers? What are you doing? So who do you need to reach? Because a lot of times we think, oh, I want the world. I want my business just to blow up. I want everybody in the world to get it. True. But when you're first starting your business, you have to gear in and hone in on that target audience that you know are going to buy your product. Let's say you want to do your own cosmetic company, and you have your own skincare products that you've made yourself. Who are you going to target? You wouldn't want to advertise to, let's say, men, if it's toning and highlighting creams for the face that women use. You want to make sure you're honing in on your products. So start small. Find that target audience that's going to gear towards your business, especially if it's something specific, cosmetic, makeup. You don't want to sell makeup to a man, so you want to make sure that you are honing in on women who are very into skincare products, who are into makeup. Make sure you are targeting your target audience. That is so key when you're trying to build your clientele. Now, once your business grows, your audience can grow, and you can have different niches to target different audience. But when you're first getting started, find that one audience that is like a definite person. Let's say if it's a coffee business, you want to start your own coffee shop. Target coffee drinkers. You don't want to go to people who don't drink coffee or things like that. You want to target people who, when they wake up in the morning, they have to have that drink of coffee. So you just want to make sure that is so key in going through target audience. That's with anything. That's when if you have a traditional business, that's when you have a traditional career, and that's when you have a non-traditional business, let's say network marketing, internet marketing or something like that. You want to make sure that you're strategic on these things. I couldn't get my word out, but strategic on these things, mainly because you want to make sure you start good and strong and you start it off right. As you grow, you can expand. Don't feel like once you get started, you started with this niche, you have to stick with this and you cannot grow and expand. Let's say if you do have skincare products, you can only stay with women. Men use skincare products as well. But if you want to get started in your products, is this say a toner or something like that, mostly women are going to use that. And then you want to grow your product line, then you grow your audience. But you want to start small. You don't want your advertisement all over the place and people are confused of what you're trying to say. You don't want anything that you put out there that just to confuse your crowd. You want people to kind of see. And prime example, let's say it is makeup or something like that, and you have makeup, but you want to eventually do skincare. And I'm just using these as examples because it really is a specific industry. Now, if it's not a specific industry, if it's cakes, you want people who, eat cake, and most people eat cake. But let's say if it is a specific industry, you're starting with makeup, but you want to eventually get into skincare. Start with women. Start with women doing makeup, and when you grow into more of full cosmetic lines where you are doing skincare products, then you can target men. Then you can target, let's say, children or whatever it is. You can grow your audience, but I suggest you start small. Now, perfect pricing. Pricing is key. And from experience, guys, I know when I first got started with my cake business, I priced everything very low and I cheated myself. I did that because I was like, well, it's bakeries all over the place. Why would they pay me this much money when, they could just go to Walmart and get a cake for a fourth of what I'm charging? But you can't think about it like that, especially in the cooking industry. When you're starting your own business, you're buying equipment, and the quality of what you're cooking, especially if you're making homemade cakes and things, everything from scratch, ingredients cost. They cost a little bit more than what Walmart is spending. So you have to make sure when you're pricing your things that you're not focusing on, no one is going to buy this from me. Yes, they will, because people are looking for what you have that maybe Walmart or Kroger can give. So you can't really compare yourself if you are in the cake cooking industry to restaurants and things like that. You have to think that they are on a larger scale. So the things that you do with your cakes are not exactly the same. You don't, go from a manufacturer. You're doing everything in your own home. So you got to think of it that way. You have to put your prices to what not only are you paying for your expenses, the things that you put into your cakes or your pies or whatever it is you're doing. You got to think about profit, because you have to profit because you're using more electricity, more utilities. You need equipment. You need to fund your business. So your business should not just be surviving, it should be living, it should be growing. So think about that when you do your prices. When I started my cake business, let's say if it is a cake business or something like that you're doing, I went online and compared prices. That helped me a lot, especially when trying to figure out how other people did it. And that goes back to when I was saying, knowing your industry. So if you're not reinventing the wheel and someone out there did it, I guarantee you someone had the same thoughts and the same struggles. So you have to be mindful of that as well, and don't reinvent the wheel. Google. I had those thoughts in my mind thinking no one would pay me for my work because I'm new, I'm out of my home, I'm not a big fancy corporation. But I was wrong, and I cheated myself. First few years I didn't even break even. In fact, I was spending money that I wasn't making, put into my business, so I was losing. And you don't want to do that, but I learned from my mistakes. And eventually I increased my prices, and I made sure that I had a strategic plan on how I wanted everything to run, as well as where I bought my products. That's key as well. You want to make sure that you're still getting quality prices, products, but you want to make sure you're getting it at a wholesale price or going to the most reasonable for you, because you got to think about you, not just pricing stuff for the convenience of the people, but you got to think about the convenience of you. So the next thing, 2 more steps and we're done. How to find startup money. That's another thing. It's great if we can just go and say, oh, I dreamed I want this business, and the money just falls out the air. But it doesn't really come that way. So if you're interested in taking loans, me personally, I didn't take out a loan because I did not want that responsibility. So I started smaller on a very, very small scale and grew. And I suggest that if you don't want to take loans, if you do, there are a lot of loans out there. I'm going to talk a lot about loans and vendors and credits and things like that on our Dream Finances, so stay tuned to that. I'm going to have a financial counselor to come and kind of talk about different options and things like that. I didn't do it, so I won't necessarily talk about that, but starting small, making sure that you're doing on a small scale so that you can build your money up. I came out of pocket and kind of loaned myself the money to get my business started and paid myself back. And I like that aspect of it because I was able to not owe anyone else. If I missed a payment for myself, I can miss a month of paying that money back for me. I don't have to worry about a loan person coming to hunt me down. So I like the fact that I paid myself and gave myself the money. And I had a vehicle that kind of helped me fuel my business as well. And I'll talk about that tomorrow on non-traditional businesses. But I really wanted to kind of go into a little bit more showing you finding money, finding free money. Google, get out there and do your research before you go take out a lot of loans, especially a lot of loans with a lot of high interest rates. And if you can afford to loan yourself the money, do it. I'm telling you, you're going to be glad you did at the end. Now, go out and get customers. You need to network. You need to go to ilikemeetup.com. That was the best thing I could have done for my business. Going to these networking functions, going to these networking groups. I got out. I met people. I gave out business cards. I gave out samples. I wanted people to try what I had because I like the AOL theory. They gave away free internet when they first got started. They gave it away. They gave it away. And guess what? They're one of the biggest internet companies in the world. But at first, they gave it away. So I took that theory. I networked. Every time I went out, I had a sample of something. You know, whether it was for my traditional business and my non-traditional business, I took business cards. I had labels on everything. I met people. I talked to people. I reached out to groups that were geared around what my business was geared around. And I went out and I just met people. Everywhere I went, I had the affirmation that wonderful people come into my life each and every day. I am a socialite. I go out and I meet people everywhere I go. That is an attitude that you need to have when you're building a business because you want to meet people. And I'm going to give you a little secret. Friends and family are great to help you in the beginning, but please do not rely on them to build your business. That is the best advice out of everything I've said today that I can tell you. They are great, but do not hound your family and friends to grow, whether it's your non-traditional business or your traditional business. They are going to support you. They're going to help you, of course, because they love you, but don't depend on them to be the main source of income coming in. It's just going to hurt relationships. So that's my best advice, why I strongly encourage you to get out there and network, advertise, give out free things. Groupon is the best thing in the world right now. Living Socials and all those other sites where they let companies give out free stuff and deals and coupons. Do it. I used to give out deals via social media. I'll just wake up and say, okay, I need to build this up. So today, for the rest of this month, I'm giving away half off cupcakes or free this, free that. If you purchase this, you get this. And it worked. So get your customers. If you don't have customers, nothing else matters. Okay? So I'm going to wrap it up and we're going to go into a little bit more detail on this tomorrow. But I wanted to give you basically those 7 key steps that helped me, as well as other people that I know that have businesses, get their start. Okay? Be